Static silence. The radio crackled faintly in the background, an old jazz tune rambling through the hazy air of the hotel. It had once been a comfort, Alistair's signature ambience, but now the static seemed to make your skin crawl. "You're being unreasonable, darling." Alistair's voice cut through the air like a razor, sweet but pulsing with that all-too-familiar menace beneath the surface. You stood with your arms crossed, trying not to flinch. "Unreasonable? I just asked for a little honesty, Alistair. Just a little transparency. Is that really so much to ask?" Alistair's smile never faltered, but his eyes flickered. "I am honest. I simply don't divulge every detail of my business. You know how things work in hell, dearest." "That's not good enough anymore," you said, a bit quieter now, but each word dug in like a knife. "I can't keep pretending it doesn't bother me when you vanish for days and come back covered in blood and then act like nothing happened." His laugh was light, melodic. "Oh, come on now. Blood is just part of the aesthetic, my dear. You knew who I was when we met." You swallowed. Hard. "Yeah, I did, and I thought I could handle it, but I didn't sign up to be kept in the dark. I didn't sign up to be treated like I'm just a fun distraction when you're bored." Alistair's grin twitched. Just slightly. Just enough. "That's quite the accusation," he said, tilting his head. "Is that what you think you are? Is that what you think of yourself? A distraction?" "No," you replied, voice trembling. "But sometimes it feels like that. It feels like that's what you're thinking of me." Silence followed. The radio fizzed and popped, a high-pitched squeal echoing briefly before the music resumed, softer now. Alistair's smile had dropped, replaced with a curious blankness. It was a rare look, one that was unnerved, and it unnerved you more than his manic laughter ever could. "You're upset," he said at last, eyes narrowing. "And emotions, I found, tend to cloud one's judgment. So let us wait a moment and let this pass." "And no," you cut him off. The world stopped, and that one simple word was like a thunderclap in the room. "No," he echoed, lips curling slightly. "No, that's quite unlike you." You forced yourself to meet his gaze. I can't do it anymore. I can't be with someone who won't let me in, who hides everything behind a smile and treats my concerns like they're a punchline." Alistair chuckled once more. There seemed to be no humor in it, though. "You would end this just like that, over a little secrecy," he mocked. "This isn't little," you said. Your hands were shaking now, balled into fists. "This is everything. Trust, communication, basic respect, Alistair." His eyes flared, and the air seemed to pulse with static. "Respect? My dear, you dare speak to respect to me? I have given you shelter, companionship, my attention, things other in this realm would kill for. I didn't ask for any of that if it meant losing myself in the process," you argued back. That stunned him. Just for a breath, you could see it, the way his shoulders stiffened, the way his fingers twitched like they wanted to grip something, your wrist, maybe your voice. "I loved you," you whispered. "I still do, in some sick and twisted way, but love isn't enough when it's one-sided." Alistair said nothing. But the radio behind him, it made a furious, sharp, static sound that made you wince. He silenced it with a flick of his wrist. When he looked back at you, something had changed. You really mean this? He said, almost calmly. He nodded. The silence between you stretched thin, straining like an overused wire. For a moment you thought, maybe you just hoped he'd show something real, sadness, regret, vulnerability, but nope. His smile returned, broader than ever, too wide, too perfect. Well then, he said with a sweeping bow, if this is your decision, I shall not stand in your way. You're free to go, though I must say I'll miss your delightful company. You blinked. That's it? What were you expecting? Tears? A dramatic plea? Oh, no, I'm afraid that's not my style. He straightened up, brushing the speck of dust from his vest. But do remember this. Hell is no place for the naive. If you think you'll find something better out there, my dear, you may be sorely disappointed. You took a step back, your heart pounding. That sounds like a threat, you mused. Merely an observation, he replied with a wink. You turned, walking towards the door. Your steps felt odd. Your chest felt tight, and everything you couldn't say felt stuck in your throat. Your hands touched the knob, and you hesitated. I really did love you, you said, turning back. I just wish you could have let me in. Alistair's voice followed you out, eerily calm. And I wish you could just accept me for who I am. Truly I do. The door clicked shut behind you, muffling the last notes of the fading jazz. You didn't look back. The hall outside was cold and quiet, a jarring contrast of the chaos you'd left. You started walking, unsure where you were really going to go, only knowing that you had to stop moving, that if you couldn't do it anymore, the weight of what you'd just done, what you just left behind, might crush you. You didn't cry. Not yet. Maybe later. For now, the only sound was the footsteps echoing through the hotel corridors, and the ever-present hum of the radio behind you could still hear faintly, just behind the walls. The streets outside the hotel were dim. It's like some kind of iridescent muck that glistened, the kind of glowy light beneath hell's artificial moonlight. Your shoes made soft, wet sounds as you walked, but your mind was louder than anything else. Each step echoed with regret, confusion, hurt. You'd really done it. You'd left him. And now what? The hellscape around you pulsated with life. Twisted demons slithered between alleyways. Laughter twisted into screams somewhere in the distance. But it all felt muted. Like you were walking through a dream or maybe just a nightmare. You found yourself wandering towards an abandoned fountain. The water inside was black and sludgy and unmoving. It reeked of sulfur and something similar. There was something metallic about the smell, but it was quiet. You sat onto the crumbling stone edge, burying your face in your hands. Was that the right choice? You weren't even sure anymore. He didn't chase after you, didn't try to stop you, and that part hurt the most. After all the months together, his affections, his jokes, those fleeting moments of the genuine softness, you thought, maybe there'd be something behind the grin when you walked out. But he just let you go. You knew he wasn't going to change. You whispered aloud, voice rasping. But you still hoped. A small noise startled behind you. A rustle from behind. You turned sharply, shoulders tense, ready to face whatever hell they decided to throw at you next, but it was only Husk. The old cat demon raised an eyebrow, a cigarette dangling from his lips. "You look like shit," he muttered. "Well, thanks," you murmured back. He shifted closer, plopping down beside you with a groan. "Saw you left. Watched a storm out. Oh, damn building felt like we were dead silent for a minute." "Yeah, that was probably him," you spoke up. Husk grunted. "You actually left him?" he questioned. He nodded slowly. He took a drag from his cigarette, letting the smoke curl up into the thick, hellish air. Figured if anyone could put up with him, it'd be you." You didn't answer. You weren't really sure if that was criticism or a compliment. Husk looked at you for a while, and his tone softened. "He's not easy. He never was. Guy doesn't get people, not really." "I tried to understand him," you said. "I thought maybe if I stayed long enough he'd let me in." "Well, did he?" he questioned. You shook your head. Maybe you made the right call then." Husk flicked the ash back into the black water. "Doesn't mean it doesn't suck, though." A bitter laugh escaped you. "Yeah, it really does." Silence fell between you. It wasn't uncomfortable, just heavy. You sat there for a while, listening to the distant chaos in the city, letting the grief settle into your bones. Eventually you stood. "Thanks, Husk, for not, mocking me." "I only mock people who don't learn," he replied with a shrug. "You, figured that out the hard way. That's the only way things do get learned around here." You offered him a small smile, then turned and started walking back again. You didn't know where the hell you were going, but anywhere seemed better than here. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Alistair sat on one of the lounge chairs, motionless. The radio beside him was dead silent. He hadn't turned it off, it had simply stopped. He stared at the empty space you'd left behind, where you stood hours ago, where your voice had broken just before you'd walked out. "He really meant it," he murmured aloud. A chill ran through the room, though no windows were open. He leaned back, her hand clasped in his lap. On the outside, he was composed as ever, that ever-present smile still curved on his lips, though it was starting to strain the edges. "Fascinating," he murmured. "To think, I was so certain you'd come back." As the hours passed, you didn't. It had been a week since then. 7 days in hell felt longer, twisted and stretched by the disoriented sense of time. You had managed to find a small place and stay on the outskirts, sharing a room with a quiet demoness who didn't ask questions. You kept to yourself and worked odd jobs. You kept your mind busy. But the night always returned. The look in his eye, the moment when he didn't stop you. Sometimes you woke up thinking you heard his laugh outside your window, but it was always just your imagination. Or when the way the wind carried a strange sound in hell. Still, you felt watched. Not in a threatening way, but like the shadows knew your name, like something was waiting. Then one night, a knock came at your door. Curious, you peered through the small window, but no one was there. Just a small package. Opening it with trembling fingers, inside was an old radio, vintage and oddly familiar. There was a single note attached, written in an elegant, blood-red script. "For when you miss the music, A." Your breath caught in your throat. You turned over to see the radio in your hands, unsure what to feel. The air felt heavy, like it carried the weight of his presence, like it still remembered you. You didn't turn it on. Not yet. Instead, you set it gently on the nightstand and climbed to bed, staring at the ceiling. He wasn't gone. He left, but he was still there, somewhere in the static, watching, waiting, wondering. and part of you hated how much it made your heart ache.